Posted by you/Deketa Kid. AITA for telling my mom to go back to the family she replaced me with. My mom, 42, and I, 22, used to be really close. Like she's all I've ever had, and she's the one who taught me to be as strong as I am today, and her becoming a cop inspired my whole life. I love her so much and I admire how strong she and I wish things were like how they were. Her uncle, my great uncle, managed to bring her to Canada from Kosovo in 1999, if that helps give you guys an idea of the kind of things that she's been through. When I went to university, our relationship started changing. She disliked my GFs, my uni choice, wanted me to ferry home every weekend, and then I got a co-op term at a prestigious company in Vancouver. Don't ask, I'm not giving it up, that she did not want me to work for because she had a moral stance against it. I agree with her, but it was a great opportunity. I'm going to grad at the end of the term, and I'm set for a job with the VPD because of it. But my mom cut me off because of it and straight up told me not to come back, so I had to move in with my great uncle and his son, my uncle. We started messaging again half a year ago after she sent me a chain message on WhatsApp, but we've been taking it slow. I follow my mom on IG, but she rarely posts, and when she does, it's anti-war stuff. But then she put up this post with a caption something like, "So happy to have a real family again, can't wait to go on my new journey," and it showed her boyfriend and her with engagement rings and an ultrasound. Like, I don't know, it just triggered something inside of me. Am I not her real family? Were we nothing? It just made me very angry, like I'm going to have the sibling and stepfather I always wanted, and she couldn't even be bothered to tell me personally? Well, I decided to wait and see how long it would take her to call me about the news, and she just didn't. Reading break was 2 weeks ago, and at the end of it my mom came to my great uncle's house to pick something up. She saw me and tried acting like no time had passed and how excited she was for my graduation and this and that. She still didn't acknowledge she's getting married. I just told her not to care about my graduation and to go back to the family she replaced me with, left and stayed gone till she went home. My uncle told me that what I did made her cry and I was an asshole to her, and my great uncle told me that I should have handled things with more tact. I feel bad about it because she was reaching out to me, and everything's been frosty with my uncle since then. Now on to some comments. Posted by HappyGoLucky123. NTA, she wrote the post that insinuated she didn't have a real family, so now the post bit her in the bum. Cara Faye 1234 responded with, "And she kicked him out. Will she do the same to her real family if they disagree with her?" Red Seuss _change my mind responded with, "To be honest, probably. It's like cheaters and narcissists. They don't change, they just find new victims to fool." NTA op, it really does seem like she no longer considers you as family, you just pointed that out. You have every right to feel bitter. Also, consider showing your uncles the post she made, that may help them understand why you acted the way you did. Edit, right, this seems to have started a war in the comments, so let me clarify a few things. 1. I don't think that the mother is a narcissist. I was simply listing people who refuse to change, and narcissists happen to be one of them. 2. Yes, Op's mother is a war victim, and yes, Op siding with a company that she didn't morally agree with was bound to create some strain, however, that's not exactly the point. 3. In the post, the mother said, "Real family again." This implies that she no longer sees Op as a real family member. She may have at one point, but she doesn't now. So why should Op treat her like family when she has made it abundantly clear that she doesn't see him as family? Make it make sense. Leiden_Lecker responded with, "I think it's worth adding for Op, who is seeing this through a lens of hurt, that the phrase real family again implied that she did have one before she became estranged from you, her son. That is her own doing, to be fair. But it sounds like you are both hurting from missing each other and feeling like the other doesn't really care, when you both do, and you can help heal each other. I'm not rendering a judgment here. Besides info on the company, if it says, a defense contractor and she was a refugee from a war zone, I mean, damn. I see some really hurt people here, no assholes yet." Denver Dogmama responded with, "Exactly. Tell your uncles she should have used a little more tact when writing her passive-aggressive social media post. How could she not have realized that would hurt you?" No_performance 8733 responded with, "Get joint professional therapy support if you want to repair your relationship with your mom. I'll tell you now, her behavior is rooted in the trauma of war. That's deep. It sounds like you are getting ahead by serving war profiteers. I own a small business that keeps me free of that conflict of interest. So, there are other ways forward besides subjecting your financial stability to war profiteers. It's a choice. Your mom is wrong. NTA. But I can see where she's coming from. Posted by FitterFat1999. Info: did you show your uncles the IG post? Ask them what you were supposed to think when she wrote. So happy to have a real family again, can't wait to go on my new journey, and it showed her boyfriend and her with engagement rings and an ultrasound. And she shows up acting like she didn't cut you off for where you work, and nothing ever happened. No. NTA. Edit: IMO if she wants to reconcile, she needs to sit down with you one-to-one and explain why she did what she did. Because there's a good chance she may dump you again, especially if you do something else against her high moral standards, or if her BF doesn't like you, or if she just doesn't have time anymore. Put some consistent effort into this relationship, mom, if you want one. OP responded with, info: did you show your uncles the IG post? No. I didn't show them the post. I couldn't do that to them, make them choose between us, and if they chose me and cut her off? They were her only blood relatives when she came to Canada, I couldn't do that to her either. Edit: IMO if she wants to reconcile, she needs to sit down with you one-to-one and explain why she did what she did. Because there's a good chance she may dump you again, especially if you do something else against her high moral standards, or if her BF doesn't like you, or if she just doesn't have time anymore. Put some consistent effort into this relationship, mom, if you want one. Of course, I want a relationship with her, but as for her boyfriend/fiancé, I always thought he liked me, and I looked up to him, so no danger on that. Posted by Andy787. ESH. There was info missing about why their relationship failed. Everyone is like, OMG, your mom is awful for disowning you because you got a prestigious job. Really? Let's say you experienced war atrocities firsthand and you raise your kid to understand how wrong that is, and then they grow up and work for a company that is involved in war or arms. Just hypothetical. The fact that she missed him and didn't like his girlfriends and wanted him to visit more is not a freaking red flag. This is a young single mom that has experienced trauma. It sounds to me like somehow mom has been tremendously hurt in all of this as well. Dietra Stavier responded with, yeah, I'm kinda wondering about this. If you're a college kid all pumped to get a flashy job at, say, Lockheed Schmarten, and your mother was forced to flee a country that was being bombed by weapons that literally had Lockheed Schmarten logos etched into them, it'd be a very bitter pill to swallow. Accomplished_cup 900 responded with, no, it's not a red flag. But asking your child to visit you every weekend from college is excessive. You know how many companies are involved/have been involved with wars? Volkswagen, Chanel, Hugo Boss, Coca-Cola, Kodak, Bayer? You know how many companies profit from war? A lot. People need to work thought. She's a young single mom who expected her son to be a mama's boy forever. OP responded with, I know how much my mom's been hurt by what happened in Kosovo, and I know that I can never really comprehend her pain as well. I don't ever want to make it seem minimal, and I would never work for a company that directly caused her harm either. I know it may seem like a cop-out, but it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I thought she would love that she managed to raise me in such a way despite everything that I beat everybody who had so many more opportunities to get that spot. Like the job I'm going to have is something I know she'll be proud of, and I never would have gotten it if not for this co-op. I never wanted to hurt my mom, only make her proud. Update: AITA for telling my mom to go back to the family she replaced me with. The day after I posted, I was trying to work things out with people's advice and find the courage to see my mom, but when I got to my uncle's home, she was there waiting on the couch. I gave her the biggest hug I could and kept saying sorry. I said it until my throat got tired, even though she kept holding me and saying it was okay. I know people said I didn't need to say sorry, but I had to, or I feel I wouldn't be alright again. When I stopped, she told me her fiancé found my post, realized it was me, and read her the comments, and she felt terrible over how badly I seemed to feel. We went to my room when my uncles got back, and I told her the post hurt so much cause of the real family thing, especially when it was a family I wanted. She said she was sorry, and she wrote it that way because she didn't know if I would go back to her and was sorry it drove me away. She said she was so proud of me and was sorry she got so attached when I went to university, but it's because she used to have a large family and then only me, and I look so much like her dad. She told me she'll always forgive me because I'm her only baby who grew up and I'm her world. Thinking about that still makes me want to cry. We talked a lot about everything from Kosovo to my girlfriend. She gave me good and bad news. The good was that I could go home. The bad is that she had a surgical abortion planned because the pregnancy was very high risk for her. It happened a few weeks after. We talked so much that day, and I know we weren't gone from each other's lives for long, but it felt like forever. The best part about going home is sleeping in my old bed, getting food made by her, a kiss goodnight, A hug, good morning, or just having someone who wants to hear how my day went, or even badgering me on when I'll propose to my girlfriend. It felt great to reunite with her fiancé, and hearing him admit he always wanted to be my dad meant so goddamn much. Oh, and getting random head massages from my mom is the best too. I'm sad about the abortion. Obviously, I'd rather have my mom alive, but I wanted my mom to have a chance to give a baby the childhood she wanted to give me. I grew up poor, but I had a great childhood because of her, so it would have been validation to see her give a kid everything. She says she's fine since she'd rather be a grandma instead. I guess I posted because I'm feeling sad today. I still feel bad over what I did, even though everyone tells me I don't need to because it's getting better. I'm trying to get past it, and writing this did cheer me up a bit. Now on to the last story. Posted by you/throwaway_0. AITA for calling out my dad and stepdad? I, 16F, have a twin brother, Cody. I do cheer and Cody does sports. We do these activities because we enjoy them, but Cody also puts in a lot of effort because he's constantly seeking approval from our dad and stepdad. The two don't care for each other but are somehow the best of friends when it comes to Cody's sports. He does like 5 different ones because our dad likes hockey and lacrosse while our stepdad prefers football and basketball. They both enjoy baseball. If he ever dares to quit a single one of them will throw a riot or accuse him of playing favorites. It's so dumb. Sometimes Cody's schedules clash or get so overwhelming to the point where he'll lay on his bedroom floor for hours and dissociate. It's been like this since he was like 10. My mom and stepmom think it's just men being men and that boys enjoy sports, so Cody probably doesn't care, but like there's a limit to everything, right? We were having a celebratory lunch for our older sister before she leaves for college and both sides were there. The lunch ended at 2 p.m. and our sister asked if we wanted to go to the mall. I said yes, and Cody was clearly going to say yes, but our dad said he had baseball practice. Cody tried asking if he could sit out one day since he hasn't missed a single practice of anything in his life, but our stepdad joined our dad's practice makes perfect speech and backed out. They then tried using me as an example. Oh, Ashley's never missed a day of practice and look at her. Medals and trophies for days. I thought this was ridiculous. I've missed plenty of practices and Cody has more awards than me. I asked them if they were being serious and told them what I just mentioned. My dad kept telling me to be quiet, but I called him and my stepdad losers that need to realize that Cody is a human being with limits, not a doll they can program or play with. Both of them were very embarrassed. My dad told me that I was being very disrespectful. My mom joined in and said I was reading too much into the whole thing and that they're men and I simply won't get their dynamics. I call bullshit, but they're all saying I'm in the wrong and need to apologize. My sister agrees with me but says I was disrespectful. Cody doesn't want to talk about it. AITA? Just to make it clear, the practice was an informal one. Think of it as extra credit / to strengthen specific skills. Now on to some comments. Posted by VividRent7730. NTA, it needed to be said and it's sad that no one has said it before. Good for you for standing up for him. When your brother has a breakdown because of the pressure, your dad and stepdad will be there all confused as to why that's happened. Irish_beast responded with, NTA are sports for enjoyment or to fulfill the fantasies of dads and stepdads? Docwo0 responded with, obviously, the latter. Not_addictive responded with, for real. I did lots of extracurriculars in my life, but the only ones I still enjoy as an adult are the ones I chose to do and not the ones I was forced to do. Honestly, they're probably setting up Cody to have an even tougher relationship with fitness and his body once he becomes an adult, and 1, bodies change and you have to be more intentional about exercise, and 2, his time is his own and he can choose not to do these things. Like, I still love going to dance classes and trivia nights as an adult because I got to enjoy dance and quiz team. I will likely never pick up a tennis racket again because I never wanted to play and spent 4 years being told that sports were the best way to get into college, something that ended up being very much not true for my experience. Sleipnir82 responded with, exactly. I used to do a bunch of things when I was a kid because my mother forced me to. When I got to be an adult, she was like, well, you just used to quit things when they got hard. I had to explain to her no, I hated them, they were boring, and I didn't like competition. She said, oh well, I just thought you were like me and your sister and liked all that. 1, I have always been completely different from my sister. 2, she always used to say oh my god about the parents that forced their kids into a million things and didn't realize she was doing the same thing to me. And she never actually asked me if I enjoyed these things. Posted by Dirty Wet Dreams. NTA. You are a good sister. I wish I could give you a hug. Please give Cody hugs and let him know you are there for him. He probably wants love and approval from his fathers, and they can't put their egos aside. Keep speaking up for him if you have to. It seems your mum doesn't understand either. I find there's a lot of power in trying to word things in a polite yet brutal way. I'm very hot-headed myself and curse like a sailor when I am mad, so it does take practice. A lot of adults will think that a teenager is rude etc. just because bad language is used, and they will brush everything off. So, the best you can do is think of a way to say everything really politely so they can't even call you rude, while still telling them to put their stupid male egos aside and love Cody even if he chooses to do cheer. Like WTF, how can someone do so much and even be a kid? When does he have time to just chill and be with friends? OP responded with, "Aw, thank you. I'm gonna find Cody right now and give him a massive squeeze lol. Thanks for the advice, I'll keep it in mind for the future." And as for your question, he literally doesn't do anything but practice and sleep. He'll forget to eat some days because of how tired he is. There is absolutely no way he has time or even remembers to hang out with his friends. It's especially bad in the summer because at least he can goof off during school. Night Arayak responded with, commented earlier, but this is where I say you need to get a higher authority involved because your parents are not prioritizing Cody's health. Not eating and sleeping regularly / properly is very detrimental to your body's health, especially during growth. If you're 16, so is Cody. And if memory serves me correctly, boys tend to grow quite a bit between 11 to 16. So if this has been going on for a while, this may be affecting him physically. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and stress can cause all kinds of health issues in a grown adult. Now imagine a growing child. Research has already proven that high stress and less sleep causes death at a younger age. Your parents need to wake up because this isn't a joke. I don't mean to scare you, but if your parents keep this attitude up, they might not have a son anymore. It's that serious. When I was in HS, there was a girl that was part of the dance crew, ASB, cheer, and a couple other activities around campus. She didn't eat properly and lived off of energy drinks for a few days. She collapsed and had a seizure in the middle of class. She had to be rushed to the hospital and didn't return to school for almost a month. She was lucky to have made it out with minimal injuries. Dirty Wet Dreams responded with, "Poor boy. I feel sorry for him. Having no friends that age is hard, and if he is so tired that he can't even remember to eat or just zones out for hours as you said, that is literally his body shutting him down to make him stop pushing himself. Perhaps it will help if you talk to your older sister about this, and together talk to your mum. Hopefully your mum will come around. Write everything down so you won't forget it and give all sorts of examples like you list here. Then hopefully your mum talks to the men. Or maybe she won't see your point and you can be Cody's best sister and cheerleader and do it yourself. We only get to be kids once. They are going to need to put him in therapy if they don't stop their nonsense." Revenue No 9164 responded with, "This is really unhealthy, and frankly, likely to cause him physical injury as well as mental injury. Do his coaches know his schedule is this intense? They may not like it and may speak to your dad and stepdad. Maybe not, but if they are good coaches this should concern them." OP responded with, "One of his coaches found out about his schedule when he was 12 and politely scolded our dad and encouraged Cody to take a break, but our dad paid no mind and now the two do not get along. Edit, he also backed down because my dad can apparently somehow get him fired?" Cody also played for our school's baseball team this year and the coach was my history teacher, and he would often tell me that he's afraid that my brother will burn out and that I should try convincing him to take it easy. He won't do anything about it though. Still, I've tried telling this to my dad, who thinks he's jealous because my history teacher's son is a musician. Have I said how insane this all is yet lol? Now onto the update, AITA for calling out my dad and stepdad? Wow people, I had no idea my post was gonna get so big. But I'm extremely appreciative of all the comments. Some were incredibly kind, but some were really blunt. Especially regarding my brother Cody. I read them all. So, like I said, I called my grandma. I told her everything and she was mad. She told me that I did a good job telling off my parents and that she's glad I told her. In the meantime, my mom finally realized that something was wrong and called me while I was out to tell me that there was something wrong with Cody. From what she described, he was doing his dissociating thing. I was kind of upset that this was her first time seeing him in this state, considering I've seen it many times, but maybe after what I said, she'd been paying more attention to him. Then my grandma arrived, and she made my mom bring everyone over, dad, stepmom, stepdad, And she really gave it to them. She told them if they didn't get their priorities straight, then she'd be taking me and Cody. She also made it very clear to my mom and stepmom that it's a guy thing thinking was shameful. Mom felt guilty, but my stepdad and dad threw a fuss. Mom then yelled at them and told them what she saw. That shut them up. IDK, it was crazy to see my parents being scolded like they were little kids, but since they didn't want to hear it from me. Well. My mom then talked to Cody, who, like a lot of you said, didn't want to quit any sport because this whole thing is so ingrained in him. But mom put her foot down and told him that she was so sorry for letting this go on for so long, but he has to quit at least one sport. Cody said some harsh things back, but they resolved it, thanks to grandma. He's now only doing hockey and baseball. He was too afraid to tell our dads, so my mom told them instead and they reacted. Okay. Stepdad said at least he's not quitting all of them, but shut up after my mom glared at him. This whole situation was really something, and it's crazy to think I triggered it. I felt sort of guilty for a while, but reading everyone's harsh but very true comments knocked some sense into me. Cody has no identity. He doesn't have a favorite song, movie, etc. It is now my mission to help him figure himself out. Hopefully he gets therapy, but the parents are too busy fighting over whose fault this is. Maybe I'll call grandma again, lol. I just showed Cody this post and he was also thankful for the support. So yeah, thanks guys, and I'm glad I posted on here.